Today is June 27th, 2023. It is 7:36 p.m. We'd like to call this meeting to order.
Do we have any other officials from last year? I guess, am I the only one? Secretary, because Marco isn't here.
Right.
All right, so I'll call to order the meeting. We'll say 7:37 p.m. Roll call. I don't have the list in front of me, but it's essentially everybody that's here minus Marcos, right? Jim Hamilton,
Jim Hamilton here.
Dave Oliver, Roman Garcia,
Present.
Ryan Holland, and Marco not present. Additions and subtractions to the meeting minutes. Anything else we need to go over that's not on here? Elections, new members and budget. No. Anybody want to? Do we have the meeting minutes from 2 weeks ago? I think you emailed them though, right? I
Yes.
saw them attached in an email. Did everybody get a chance to go over those meeting minutes?
I did
Yeah.
not.
You want to postpone the motion and adoption of those minutes to the next meeting?
I'd second that.
So we'll postpone the adoption of those minutes until everybody has a chance to review those.
Okay.
And then elections, new business. I'm talking a lot, but it's just because I like to talk, so
No,
feel free to
you
jump in.
Great job.
I know Dave likes it because I'm moving through it quick. So the only three positions, just to confirm, president, vice president, chair, vice chair,
and secretary.
and secretary. We don't have a treasurer or anything of that nature. All right, so who do we got for chair? We could start with vice chair and secretary. It just,
Well,
do we have any
I'll start with
position?
chair, because then it flows down, but I would nominate Roman as chair if he's interested.
Unfortunately, Jim, this year I'm going to have to turn you down
Okay.
due to a promotion at work. It's just.
All these promotions keep coming up. They're interfering with our
Yeah,
volunteers.
let me do it this way. Since Friday, I already have 22 hours of overtime.
Oh my gosh.
So
Will they be able to afford you?
that's the other problem. That's their problem. But yeah, unfortunately, I made a commitment to the mayor to stay on the committee through the end of his term. But I just, unfortunately, I can't be chair this time around.
But you have a unique skill set, hoping that you stay on the committee
Yes.
for a long, long time, because
I don't mind doing the back end work, the plaques, wording and all that stuff. I don't have a problem doing all that stuff. It's just being at council meetings to make presentations right now. I can't guarantee, I can't commit to that.
Right.
So that's why I don't want to take the position as chair, because someone else is gonna have to step up anyway. So
Well, I did that out of respect for you, because you
I
did such
appreciate
a
it.
great job when you were chair.
I appreciate it. I mean, trust me, it's fun, and I like being the chair because, I'm very for this committee, and I love the Hall of Fame. But it's just, between work and home and stuff like that, there's a lot going on.
Right.
So,
You be chair?
Well, I was gonna thank Ryan, because he's toiled as the secretary for 3 years, so he's got more training and skill than I ever thought of having. So if you're interested in being the chair, I would nominate you.
I would ask you though, and maybe as a former chair, attending a lot of the council meetings. I'm not available either, because with Matthew playing baseball and running my daughter around.
I could fall under the vice chair.
But I mean, what's your experience and
again,
With regards
it's just
to that.
council meeting wise, really, you do
Twice.
2 to 3 times a year.
okay,
Because you have to, like we should be putting an item, I would say no later than August to give them an update of last year's ceremony, because we haven't done that. Again, see, the thing is with our committee is so weird. Because we fall under the committee rules, but we don't. Because every committee goes in front of the chair every quarter. At some point in the quarter.
Right,
They always forget about us. So unless you tell them, hey, I want to give a committee report,
they don't,
they
You know,
forget about us. Because again, since really the money we get comes from Parks and Rec, it's in the Parks and Rec budget, the $1,000 we get, it's not like we're a line item in the town's budget. They tend to forget we're there.
okay,
You know what I mean? That's why whenever they call us to those quarterly meetings, like, why? I mean, we're not, we don't plan out in that. That's why
right,
a lot of those quarterly meetings, I would send Helen because she had to be here anyway. You know what I mean? Because she was on other committees, so she was going to other committees, so I told her just go ahead and go for us while you're at it, because again, they're not gonna ask Sports Hall of Fame anything.
right,
I mean, the only time, like I said, when as chair, I would do one, February, March, which obviously we've passed that, just to let them know, hey, that we did this ceremony in December, it went great, we nominated, we did these people, we had about this amount of people, whatever it is. Just like a recap,
just a brief recap.
a brief recap, 2 minutes, whatever. Then when we go, that we elect, that we vote on a class, then that we have to take as an item.
Okay,
And that's when we lock in the date. We tell them, okay, it's gonna be this date. These are the nominees. We've never,
they've
been
never,
been told otherwise, and then
Yeah.
at the end of the day, really it's maybe twice a year.
my only hesitation would be, and you know this from my experience with the Optimist, I don't like to accept something unless I'm very confident that I can fulfill the duties required. And that would
Especially in
be my,
leadership, it's really, to me, just the leadership, because you can always get anybody on the committee to appear before.
before the town
But we,
council.
really, I only remember two. One,
Yeah, it's usually
with the
2 or 3
nominations,
times.
we
Yeah.
present the nominations, and then the other was the budget for what was the other one, the
Quick
budget?
recap,
Yeah,
again, budget wise, we've never gone in front of council. I think I did it once when we changed the resolution. Because we needed to adopt a new resolution, so they had to amend the resolution.
Okay,
and we
So-
had to ask for that.
Yeah, we had to ask for that caveat of HML before town incorporation. So that had to be amended into the resolution, so for that we had to go. Again, if we're ever gonna make changes to the resolution, we're gonna have to go regardless.
right,
Budget wise, we tend to not go again, because again, Parks always puts $1,000 in their budget for
We
us. We don't,
The most.
well, as long as, obviously this would fall a little bit with the vice president, but as long as I got the support, I'd say, of the committee
Yeah.
with regards to covering the council meetings, I don't mind leading these sorts of meetings, and I'm not shy as far as I wouldn't want to take the microphone out of our MC's hand, because he does such a great job with it, but I don't mind going up and saying a few words either. I'm not shy like that, so. Yeah, as long as I've got the support, I could do that.
I'm sure you're gonna have a very good vice chair.
Yeah.
Again, I mean, being chair, I think 5 out of the 7 years that we've had this committee. Because I think Helen had it once and Tim had it for a year.
Mhm.
I've been the chair every other year. I
I've done
have no
very
reason,
well.
I have no reason to
That's
think you
nothing to
can't
do
do
with
it.
Right, yeah, that's up.
No, again, I have no reason to think that you can't do it. Again, I mean, remember, I left for a while last year. That promotion fell through, whatever happened, I came back after a long conversation with the mayor. And, we still had a successful ceremony.
Right,
And at the end of the day, as long as we have successful ceremonies, that's anybody's gonna remember.
Right.
The only other thing I would think as chair is, trying to engage the town for help, as far as more advertising, more pushing, which is something that
more
lacked last year.
larger numbers, yeah.
Again, I think the turnout last year wasn't bad considering. I don't remember what the numbers were on the
Yeah.
e-bikes and stuff like that. Again, it was more also family from that doesn't show up on the e-bike.
Right,
But again, I know our goal at the end of the day is to continue to open this to the public. And grow, and we need to keep growing. And whether we have a VIP area where the food is encompassed and not just to the general public food. We can look at that. You know, we can always have a VIP area inside the clubhouse. In the rooms in the clubhouse.
Right.
Where it's not open, the food isn't open to the general public, because again, if we get to the point where we want to get to, which is, you know, let's say 400, 500, 600 people at our event. Obviously, we can't feed that many,
Right.
but we can feed the VIPs, which would be the inductees, our past inductees, our council members, our committee members, and the families of the inductees.
Right.
You know, that's something we can afford. You know, we usually do very good in the fundraising. You know, we always, to my understanding, we've always had money left over at the end of the day. We've never,
We didn't last year, but that was because we made sure that everybody had shirts and there was a.
granted,
couple of
again,
them, but
we decided,
right,
again,
Set the budget.
Right.
we spent what we needed to catch up for previous years.
Right,
But obviously now going forward, whatever we get this year, we don't have a past expenditure to worry about.
right.
You know, now from going on here, it's just going forward.
Well, we can discuss even more in depth, but I know you've got to go.
I gotta go at 8.
Why don't we call for the vote if.
Yep.
Everybody feels comfortable about voting on the.
There's gotta be a motion.
I'll make a motion for Ryan to be chair.
I second.
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Seeing none, Ryan, do you accept the position of chair?
Yes.
Unanimous.
So Ryan will be our chair, unanimous.
I steal somebody's pen when they're done.
Gee,
Thank you.
yeah, a couple chairs, no, a couple pens.
So, my deli can go.
On that point, I'm gonna make a motion for Jim to be vice chair.
I second.
Second, all in favor, or Jim,
I accept.
you accept, okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So Jim will be vice chair, then the only position remaining is secretary.
Maybe.
I make a motion, Marcos, well, the only,
Rocket Marcos.
the only problem is being there consistently. And I still can make a motion and we can vote, Marcos Gutierrez as the secretary.
And then we can always amend it later if he decides not to.
Or Marion comes in and wants to do it.
Who motioned for Marco?
I did.
Yeah.
Second,
Dave, did you motion? Did you
I'll-
second? Okay.
I'll second it, it's fine.
Okay.
So obviously we'll just confirm with Marcos that he's okay to be the secretary. I know his son did it for a couple of years also, so,
Perfect.
okay.
Yes, he did. That's right.
Alright, so the only other thing pending is that's on the notes, and I know the minutes, we definitely need to, I understand we put a tentative for 12/3.
Mhm.
I think the big thing there is going to be making sure that when Austin gets us the dates for football season, that we don't clash, to make sure that we can have the mayor there.
Right.
With their night season, with their night games, because like I said, they tend to do that the first week of December. Because it's when it's cool, the
Right.
sun goes down early enough that you can play a 5 o'clock game and it's almost dark already.
What keeps the mayor there?
Coaching.
Oh, is he gonna coach next season?
We won't know until October.
Okay.
And again, whether he's coaching there or whether he's coaching at Hareb, there's no rhyme or reason, but you know, like for me also, it's harder on the night game because
Right.
I'll be, you know, I don't want to miss my son playing
Right,
to go to the ceremony.
right,
On a playoff week, it's a lot easier to get away because they're not going to play night games in the playoffs.
right. Okay.
They just do one weekend again. Now, if they're gonna do the night weekend, the week before Thanksgiving, it doesn't really matter. But that's why I'm saying we gotta get with Austin to get with the Optimist Club to see what their ideal planning, their stages are.
Well, I think, to what I know, the flags kind of like already sent dates in.
Well, I asked Austin, he hasn't gotten them yet. He has that meeting tomorrow.
Oh, okay,
He's
I'm
supposed to
saying
banter
you're-
dates with them tomorrow.
okay. I thought Javier had already sent them in.
So, I mean, again, so that's fine, the 12/3 is tentative, but obviously we gotta, before we lock it in stone, I think we just need to, you know, check
So
with flag.
let's plan on having at least, I wouldn't mind then saying, and this gets maybe a little bit ahead of myself, but make sure that we schedule a meeting maybe towards the end of next month. To make sure that we can solidify that date prior to
That's fine.
August.
I mean, if you have their Austin, honestly, if you have the meeting with them tomorrow, you'd be able to provide us an answer by email to us,
Yes,
what they're looking at doing as far as the night game.
yes.
That will determine, Ryan, whether we need to have something at the end of July or whether we can wait till mid-August.
Okay,
I would say no later than mid-August. I mean, again, if we need to change, again, no, once we know, we know. But
right,
I think realistically, we have to meet latest mid-August with our nominees lined up so that we can take it to council in September. So that when the council ratifies, so I obviously, usually the agenda items have to be in a week before, right?
Yes,
So if the council is the second meeting of September will be the 12th, you have to have the item in by the 5th. Or the 4th, let's just say, which is Labor Day, so the 5th. So yeah, we would definitely have to meet, I would say no later than the week of the 14th of August. Which is the first week of school. School starts the 17th. So, you know. That way it gives us time to vote on candidates. And if we're good, then we can draft up the council item for that meeting in September. That way it gives us time for Jim or whoever's gonna contact these nominees or inductees to make sure that they're here with the date.
if we're having that meeting August 14th or thereabouts, I would say we still need to get a meeting. I would shoot to have a meeting end of July
That's fine.
to get our new members, to make sure, to see where we're at with budget and sponsorships, because that doesn't, and at least to start the conversation of who we're nominating, and then we can finalize by the 14th, and then we've got 2 weeks to get it in.
Yeah, so the 25th works for me. I
Council.
mean, again, with me now it all depends. I can be here. As long as I don't have an emergency.
Right,
So I'm good. 25th, I'm good. August 1st, I'm good, you know, because I'm looking at Tuesdays,
Tuesdays, okay,
because I think that's the easiest date for here.
For Tuesday.
Tuesdays are good for you also, Dave?
Yeah,
Yeah, so obviously we'd have to look at the calendar on the town to make sure there's nothing with those dates.
right.
So I would say either 25, probably the 25th would probably be the best day.
what were you gonna say, Jim?
no, I like the idea of having a meeting in July because what I worry about is getting down to like a crunch time. Just in one meeting to come up with all the nominees.
Right,
When there may be a lot of discussion, a lot of, important discussion on that. So I like the idea of having, a couple meetings to make sure we've got the right group of people. To present to the town. So,
I would agree.
So anyway, that's good. So the
Well,
date-
The 25th will work for me.
At 7, obviously, in the calendar.
So we're looking at July 25th
Correct.
and then August,
I would say August 15th after that.
is that a Tuesday?
It is.
It's a Tuesday.
At 7 p.m.
It's 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's gonna be 2 weeks after. No, 3 weeks after, 3 weeks
3
after,
weeks
because the 8th is the council.
Okay.
And then maybe we can also have a primary list, preliminary list, excuse me, of nominees. To at least kind of like get a little bit, and then have time to August 15th.
How many nominees have you? put this year?
4.
You put in 4. And we don't have any holdovers, right?
No, I think we do, because there's a couple that have been held over year after year. So,
But we need to make sure that they still meet the criteria, as because I
Right.
think that in the resolution, it states that you can be held over, I think it's 3 or 4 years.
okay,
So we need to validate in the resolution. We need to validate in the resolution what the resolution states as far as holdovers, how many years they can be held over.
and that's in the guide.
Yeah, it's in our guide. Yeah.
So we can review that.
Can you shoot us out a copy of that when you have a moment?
The
Copy of the
resolution.
resolution? Yeah. Next up, you said on our thing with, as far as new members and trying to work through this here real quickly. New members, Jeff Rodriguez, I spoke to today, he's
Yes.
not going to be able to commit to
Right.
being in the committee.
Right.
Tony Nathan was the next one.
Right.
Who was the contact for Tony Nathan?
That
Louis
has to be
Collazo.
town.
It's
Oh,
a
was
town.
it Lewis?
Louis Collazo.
Okay.
So if anybody's tight with Louis,
Well, I mean, we're all tight with him, I mean, to a point, so. I
To a
can-
point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, we could reach out to him and ask him.
I know Miriam Miriam is definitely interested because when I stepped away last year, she was gonna step into my spot,
Yeah,
but then since I came back so quickly, she didn't get a chance.
well, I know Austin confirmed that that Manny sent her an application.
Yeah, so
but we
she's
haven't
gotta
heard
be voted
anything back.
in. The thing is, she's gotta be voted in at the next council meeting. So when's the town dark? Is the town dark at all, Austin?
Yeah, there's no council meeting in July.
So she won't be
Until the
available for the 25th. So the earliest she'd be available is for that meeting of the 15th of August.
Yeah.
And then hopefully we would have 2 members voted in on the 8th. If we can find that second.
Right, if we get the second one.
Well, I'll call Louis.
Yeah, because the sooner we can figure out whether or not Tony Nathan's in, then we can move on to the next name in the list, because we're just trying to kind of.
Do we
fill that
have
one.
many more on the list?
Well, we.
There
McCall
was
was-
Terry Curry and then
Chris McCall.
Chris McCall, depending on the requirement that
Whether they have to be a resident or not, if they don't have to be a resident, then they could,
then Chris
both of
McCall.
them are eligible,
I don't think that's a requirement.
okay. Because,
And I'll say that because I am not.
well, because Terry was, inducted last year.
Yeah, I remember.
So that covers new members and then budgets and sponsorships. I know you said you got the list of the sponsors that we got. I don't have a pen to write it down, but can you go over that list one more time?
Sure.
The sponsors that we had last year.
Ocean Bank,
Ocean was
1,500.
15, that was the one I remember.
Yeah, Graham Companies was 1,000. Miami Lakes Auto Mall was 500.
Bob Graham was 1,000.
Bob Graham, no,
Graham
I mean,
Companies.
Graham Companies.
Graham Companies.
1,000.
Automobile was only 500. I thought they were 1,000.
I mean, I'm just going by what.
Ocean Bank was 15.
No, that's what Manny sent me.
Okay.
500.
And I know Vicky's in kind.
And then 305 basketball was 500, I think.
Yes.
Vicky Bakery and time.
And then I know we consider the guy that provides the tables and stuff in kind to a certain degree. It's part of the lowest price, the lower price he gives us.
Do we have a name or contact information or anything
Yeah,
for him?
Tom has that.
Can you send me that when you got a moment?
Yes.
So I can start compiling a list.
And then the food vendor we pay, so that's not any in kind. I mean, the one we should hit up for in kind this year, and I think we've done in the past, is Costco. I think they provided us in kind last year or 2 years ago or something like that, where they gave us like
I think you're right.
a gift card
2
to
years
buy
ago.
the sodas and the wine and stuff like that. Can't remember if it was last year or 2 years ago.
It must have been 2 years ago, because I remember doing that shopping trip last year, and I know we used the town credit card.
Wait, might want to check 2 years ago with either Jeremy or even with Manny to see, because I want to say at one point
Who's our
Costco,
contact?
the town has
Oh,
somebody.
the town is contact. Well, they may have lost it with that guy that left. last year,
Willie.
because Willie.
Willie
he had
called
contacts all
everybody,
over.
man.
Willie's on speed dial right now if you need me.
Oh, okay.
He's the parks director of the city of Hialeah now.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah.
I literally I can throw a rock from my office and hit Willie's office.
Wow.
So he's in the next building behind my building right now, because I just got moved out of City Hall.
Oh.
I'm not at the police department. So that's where Willie's office is. He's on like 2 buildings away from me.
Okay.
But yeah, if I need a contact at Costco, if I need to get a hold of Willie, Willie's begging me to see me. He wants to go to lunch with me because he needs me right now. So I can always squeeze stuff out of Willie.
You know, any other places that we would want to try to add this year besides Costco?
I
We don't have to have solid, but just if any.
I mean, again, the question is, I mean, do we want to try to hit up any of these new businesses that are opening up in the town? Even for a $500 sponsorship. The straight, what is it? FMU Trova, maybe, or maybe they can give us.
Limon's been here for a while.
Who?
Dr. Limon, the ceviche place.
Yeah,
it's
Dr.
been there, it's
Limon,
been doing well.
You know, I mean, again, the thing is, that's something that we have to do legwork. That
Right.
we've never done, because again, it's the town can't go out and get that. That has to be us as a committee.
How did Willie go out and get, because Willie would go out and get sponsorships for the
That was his
EAC.
job.
Okay, so the town doesn't have anybody.
I don't, does
that
the town
does
have
that.
a sponsorship person now?
I thought that Isle took that role on when she
We'd have to ask.
became the committee liaison.
Can you touch base with her just to
Sure.
see how comfortable she is?
Yeah, because Dr.
Fundraising.
Ramon has like 3 different restaurants, I think.
I know, I like, and
Yeah,
I
I
know
know.
they've been here for a while.
So our title sponsor right now is Ocean.
correct. I just haven't got a.
No, that's fine. I'm curious as to, they were our title at the end of last year because the other company pulled out.
Right.
Do we know, was the signage ever updated? At Optimus?
How do you mean?
Thought it was,
Oh, yeah, it was.
who the title sponsor
The
was.
top,
The
we
banner.
took
Well,
away.
I was told
New
it was
World?
going to be. I never looked.
Awesome, have they
Yeah, you
updated
never paid
have they
attention.
taken New World off of the wall?
Yes, they took new.
And the Ocean Bank is at the top?
Yes.
We have an Ocean Bank sign over there. But we just need to make sure that they're gonna stay, and now we gotta find the,
Right, well, that's why I started.
no,
early.
yeah, that's fine, that's perfect. You know, that's perfect, so, you know, I mean,
Menchie's
again,
actually, I could hit up somebody from the Menchie's in the same plaza down from.
I know Sandra for years, I went to school with Sandra.
You did. So Blake, her son is my son's best friend at school. And we recruited them to Optimus and then they've never gotten to play together. But I talked to Manny every other day.
Yeah, Sandra Rodriguez, well, she was Rodriguez back when we were in school together.
Okay.
I said, she was in the same CCD class, I guess Blake was in the CCD class with Sevi,
Okay,
so we were together there, so.
so
I can
Menchie,
go see her, I mean, that's not an issue, I can.
yeah, we could both,
Yeah, we can tag team that one, that's not an issue. I know Vicky will be in kind and they'll give us the desserts and stuff like that. She's always told me, just let me know the date.
is it bad that I'm always thinking food? Trattoria Pampered Chef, when my wife was president of the Miami Lakes Bar, Trattoria Pampered Chef would sponsor all the time. So we could always ask them, that's all that plaza.
Yeah, again, and we're not looking for in kind, we're looking for sponsorship money because trust me, don't get me wrong. I wish Pampered Chef would say, hey, I'll give you in kind for dinner that day.
Yeah.
We don't have to pay
Right,
The other guy.
the arroz con pollo guy. I mean, but what we pay the arroz con pollo guy is
Yeah.
peanuts
compared to the.
compared to anything they're gonna give us. I prefer paying him and getting $1,000 donation for
Right.
other things, you know.
I guess I'm not familiar with as many of the other companies.
Well, I mean, all the ones we've named, if we got even
500
for
for
the
the,
new 4 or 5 that we talked about, that's probably all we need. Because I mean, we're covering our expenses, so. You know, a lot of times if you put money, you have money left over, somehow it evaporates. You know, I mean, I don't know. You know, the town works that way. I mean, if we.
well, what it
we
is, at
stuck
the end
over-
of the day is that $1,000 that the town puts out for us is the last 1,000 that's spent. We go through all the, sponsorship money.
First.
and then if we need it to tap into that 1,000, it's
Then we
there.
go in there.
If not, it gets evaporated into the next budget year. It's not like it carries over.
So
That's the bad part about being the way we are. It's not like the elderly affairs that if they have money left over, it carries over to the next budget year.
right, we don't have that.
We don't have that luxury.
Right. So really, we need to, you know, I mean, we need to spend money we, have appropriated, so.
But at this point, if we're assuming, operating under the assumption that all the last years are coming back, 305 Auto Mall. Graham, I know you said you talked to, but if Ocean gets back, that's
Yeah,
30.
3,500.
3,500
Plus the 1,000,
plus the in-kind,
it's
How
45.
much do we need?
we.
plus the other
that's
1,000 from
right,
the town you're talking about, yeah, it would be 4,500.
I think that's right about what we spent,
Which is why last year I had to rush to get Automont the last minute
right.
because New World pulled out.
500.
Yeah, we needed that 500, which is why they did 500.
Okay. Okay,
You know, but again, this year we don't have the expenditure of the backlog of shirts.
right,
So
right.
that's a big expenditure. I think we ordered what, like 10 or 12 shirts last year
For all the previous inductees.
for all the previous inductees or something like that. So that was a big expenditure that we won't have this year.
Right,
So, we might get, honestly, we could probably get away with 3,500. It all depends. If we have more money, it'd be a cool, I know we have the step and repeat. But it'd be pretty cool, to in that place, instead of step and repeat, to put a 360 camera, if you have the money for it.
Right,
It's free publicity. People are gonna put it on Instagram. Oh, the Miami Sports Hall of Fame, boom, 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 and it's a video. And stuff like that. But again, it all depends. We need to build the ceremony. As we go building the ceremony, we know how much money we're gonna spend.
right,
So,
okay,
all right.
very good. Well, that's all I got.
okay.
So I'll make a motion to adjourn
I second. Teacher.
at 8:05. Second by Dave. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Seeing none. Meeting adjourned 8:05. We'll get together.
Thank you. Jim.
Austin, to let us know about 7:25 at 7.
Okay, still there.
Yes, I'll confirm the dates and I'll confirm, flag
15th.
football dates.
Yes.
as well.
And then that way we'll
Much
know.
more efficient than the Elderly Affairs Committee.
Yes.
I think you feel
Yeah,
that.
Yeah.
I gave you some homework assignments, Austin, is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're
First time I
emailing me
looked.
some information.
Yeah.